Good morning, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Now, it's about 6:30 in the morning. I'm very tired, I've only just gotten out of the shower, but I'm really excited because tonight I'm going to see the 1975 live at the Cardiff Motorpoint Arena. I've got my tickets right here and I can't wait. I've spoken about the 1975 in some of my previous videos and I definitely say that they're one of my current favourite bands. I just really like what they do and the sound that they've cultivated over the years. I've got this and this and this and this and this, and to tell you the truth, I've been waiting for quite a long time for them to do a show in Cardiff that I can go to. So I'm pretty fucking keen for this evening. The only problem is that I've got to do a 7.5-hour shift at work first. After which I will be meeting up with my friend Pranav, who I went to see Keaton Henson live with. I'm going to document some of the gig, and then when I get back, I'm going to talk a little bit about what my experience there was like. I honestly don't know what to expect at this point. I'm sure I'll have a fantastic time, but I've got to go to work first, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I've finished work now. It's crazy. I walked into work this morning at like 9 o'clock and there was already loads of people that had like camped outside overnight to get to this gig, and then on my lunch break I walked past and there were like 200 girls just waiting outside in the rain. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't understand it. We've all got the same tickets. It's not like they're not gonna let you in if you're not there early, and it's a massive f***ing arena. There's definitely gonna be space for everyone. But anyway, let's go to the pub. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legends. It's Pranav Sood. How's it going, man?
It's alright, man.
I got f***ing tickets to see the 1975.
Yeah, boy.
So, are you excited for this evening?
I'm quite excited. Like, it's kind of a different live experience for me because I usually seek like rock bands. It's more of their sound that I'm seeking tonight.
So, like, the thing I'm worried about is I've seen videos of them performing live, and Matt isn't always the best singer when he's live.
I saw his like with the orchestra in London.
Yeah.
And he was not even serious during that. I don't know how serious this is going to be.
But at the same time, I kind of feel like the atmosphere and the energy is going to mean that either we don't notice or we just don't care.
Yeah, probably going to be a combination of that.
Either way, I'm very confident that when we finish, like, we're going to be buzzing so much from this gig.
Yeah.
What songs are you most excited to hear?
If I Believe You.
If I Believe You,
that's
okay.
That's one of my favorites.
I want to see Somebody Else. I'm probably going to cry when they play Somebody Else.
Oh, no, I'm not going to cry.
Not like Keaton Henson.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. That was a really fun gig, but there are a couple of criticisms about it, but I'm going to talk about the whole thing now. Let's just start from the beginning. The doors opened at about 6:30. We didn't get there till something like 7:15 because we were at the pub. So we get there, we go inside, we grab another drink, we wait for the support act. Now, I was really curious to know who the support act were. Turns out they were a band called the Japanese House. I'm not totally sure if that's a band or if that's a single person with some bandmates that play with her. We were quite near the back because we got in so late, but we could see the stage and everything really well. The lights went down and on come the Japanese House. They were okay. I honestly felt like theirs was the kind of music that I would have probably really liked were I to have been listening to it at home on my headphones or something. But in that environment, honestly, I couldn't really get into it. Now, I think that their music has been produced by members of the 1975, so it does sound fairly similar. Just imagine all of the really chilled and slightly more experimental 1975 songs with a female vocal and a load of vocoder and added harmonies. That's kind of what the Japanese House sounded like. The other problem is that I don't know if this is because of the sound tech people there, but I really could not hear the vocals at all. It was really apparent throughout all of their songs that the vocals had these really in-your-face vocoder / harmony engine effects, which can sound really cool, but in all honesty, I kind of thought that this was overkill. Obviously, it's a stylistic thing, but more to the point, I honestly couldn't hear any of the lyrics. I really enjoyed the vibes, and like I said, I'm sure that I would really like their music if I'm at home listening to it on vinyl. I am going to check them out properly though, and they may well be in one of my vinyl hauls in the future. They started playing by 8 o'clock, finished by about 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock, the 1975 started. As you saw at the beginning of this video, they start with a big wall of lights that gradually dims down and down and down. Then the intro track, the 1975, starts playing, and then they open with Love Me. They played for about an hour and 50 minutes, including the encore. The staging was really, really good. They had their iconic 4 rectangles at the top and then 4 rectangular prisms at the bottom, kind of with loads of LED lights on them and then a backlit thing. The visuals were absolutely amazing. Obviously, they're on a huge stage as well, so I was concerned I wouldn't really be able to see the people very much, but either side of this stage, they had these great big screens, and they were clearly filming the gig while it was happening, so even though I was really far back, I had loads of really, really good views of what was going on. Now, that was really cool, but a little part of me found it slightly disappointing. This isn't really a legitimate criticism, but the problem I found was that it was all shot so well. Whenever you were looking at the projections on the side of the stage, it kind of just felt like you were watching a music video of them playing live. And initially I found myself following Matt's movements on stage with the screen to see if he was actually doing what was being shown. It's not really a criticism, it's testament to the people filming it. It looked so good, it was like watching a music video. But then again, when you go to a live show, you want it to be a live show. You don't just want it to be like a music video. Anyway, I digress. The set list was really cool. They played pretty much all the songs I wanted them to. It went Love Me, Heart Out, Change of Heart, Robbers, I Like It When You Sleep For You're So Beautiful Yet So Unaware of It, Money, Undo, Milk, Loving Someone, She's American, Please Be Naked, Lost My Head, Somebody Else, Falling For You, Paris Girls, Sex. That was the end of their first set, but then they came on and did an encore where they played Medicine, If You Believe Me, Chocolate, and The Sound. So yeah, they played a lot of music, a lot of old stuff and a lot of new stuff, which I thought was really, really good. The only songs that I really wanted them to play but they didn't were You, Me, and Money. So that was the gig. It was really, really fun and I had a really, really good time. But it wasn't much more than that. I really, really like this band, and to be totally honest, I found that I wasn't as emotionally engaged in their performance as I was expecting to be. Usually when I go and see someone play live, especially if it's an artist that I really like and I know all of their music, I kind of expect to have this at least semi-profound experience, where it's really engaging and fulfilling and you're kind of amazed that you're there watching all of this happen. I didn't really feel that with this show. And of course, I totally appreciate that this is a huge venue, there are thousands and thousands of people there. I'm quite far back and it's going to be harder for me to engage with their performance on the same level that I would when I'm at smaller, more intimate gigs. But even so, I was expecting to be really focused on it the whole time, just loving every minute. But a couple of times I found myself chatting to Pranav, taking pictures, videos with my phone, in a way that just didn't happen with people like Benjamin Francis Leftwich or Keaton Henson. I know that they're completely different artists and I'm not expecting to have this super deep connection or anything. I'm not talking about that. I was just expecting to be really engaged with the show, and I wasn't. There was very little engagement with the audience from Matt. There was one moment that was quite funny where he seemed to be telling someone off in the crowd who was clearly getting quite leery and quite drunk, and another moment where it seemed like he was trying to postulate on some political issues that have been going on in 2016, but then he sort of didn't. And again, I'm not trying to be really harsh or criticize anyone. I've never been to one of their gigs before, maybe that's just the way he is, but he's such a charismatic frontman in most cases, I was just expecting him to be a bit more of a spectacle than he was. Also, you know how earlier me and Pranav were both talking about how his live singing isn't always up to scratch? There were a few moments at the beginning when I thought, is he lip syncing? Is this actually happening? There were several moments that his vocals were clearly actually live and it wasn't something you hear on a recording, but there were definitely a couple of moments where he took his microphone away from his mouth and there were vocals still going. Now this will be because a lot of their songs have multiple vocal lines and harmonies all going at the same time. He will be singing live one out of the 7 different voices that are all playing. The rest will be handled by backing tracks. This makes it much easier to sound really, really good. You've got a lot of vocal reinforcement, so it's not just your voice that people can hear, it's kind of lots and lots of them. But yeah, he wasn't lip singing. I know that he would not approve of doing that. Overall, I felt like the whole thing just seemed a bit sterile and a bit rehearsed, which of course it is. They will have been playing the same show for months. One of my friends saw them in Glastonbury and he actually said the same thing afterwards, that the show just didn't feel quite as organic as he would have liked. All of the instruments were played really well, the effects were amazing, the lighting, the staging, it looked spectacular, it sounded spectacular, but the performance element of it just seemed a little bit flat. This just goes back to what I was saying about kind of being engaged with the artist. I think what might have made a huge difference is had I been a lot closer to the band. I'm sure that if there's anyone watching this who was at the gig and was a lot closer to the front, then they will have had a completely different experience from me. But isn't it the artist's job to make sure that everyone in the room, including the person right at the very, very back, is as engaged with them as the people at the front? There's a really good interview with the Iron Maiden lead singer where he talks about how that's his aim for every concert that he does, to reach out to the person at the back of the venue and make them feel like they're at the front. Most gigs I've been to where I know the music beforehand, I always feel like when they're playing it live, I'm hearing it almost for the first time. There's something fresh, something exciting, something organic about it. And even though the arrangement and the instrumentation might be identical to that of the record, it still sounds different. I didn't feel like that at this gig. It was just like hearing the live versions of their album songs. And I know that that sounds really silly because that is exactly what you're paying to see, but it didn't feel like it had that sort of just sparkle to it. Somebody Else, for example, is a song that I listen to all the time. It has quite a profound emotional meaning for me, as it does for a lot of people. It was a song I was most looking forward to hearing, and when they played it, I was just kind of there like, this is cool. but I'd sort of been expecting that it would affect me quite a lot when I saw it. In general, it felt a little bit like I was at a club and the DJ was playing all of these songs that I really, really love all night. It was really cool and really fun, but it wasn't this big memorable experience for me. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe that's it. The spark of passion has been extinguished. Again, maybe it would have helped had I been closer, but getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to queue outside in the rain all day. I'm not judging anyone who was doing that, it's just not really my thing. I had a job to go to. And of course, this was the last gig of the year for them. They've been doing this back to back, day after day for months and months and months. Of course, they're going to end up getting tired and exhausted. And I'd never been to an arena gig before, so maybe I was just expecting a little bit too much from it. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. I really don't want anyone thinking that I'm just trying to hate on the 1975. I fucking love the 1975. And it was a great performance, visually, sonically, and I had an absolutely fantastic evening. I really did have fun. I love their music. They are a great band. It was so much fun, but ultimately, it wasn't much more than that. And it wasn't the emotionally engaging, memorable performance that I had kind of been expecting, but maybe my expectations were unrealistically high. They're a fantastic band and I love them, but I'm not going to sit here and idolize them as if they're infallible, because nobody is. I'm probably going to get bombarded with hate from angry 13-year-olds now, aren't I? Anyway, let me know what you think. If anyone watching this was at the gig and had a completely different experience than mine, then please let me know, because I would honestly love to hear how everyone experienced it. And if you disagree with anything I've said or have different opinions on the situations and maybe just want to call me a stuck-up pretentious asshole, then just let me know down in the comments, because I honestly love hearing everyone's different views and thoughts on these sorts of situations. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had an amazing Christmas. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all very soon.